Good. So a pleasant good evening, guys. As usual, yours truly, Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson Associates. And of course, we always have our Sunday evening special where we answer some questions. So that's what we're going to do this evening. Sorry. So those of you who may have specific questions as regards to Batson Associates, who we are, what we do, our locations, that type of thing. We had some very interesting discussions. Thursday, we actually have our program on synergy, and that's usually on a Thursday from 5:05 to about 5:20, 5:25, all around there. And that program, of course, like all of the programs we do, would specifically deal with particular health issues, that type of thing. Good. So, of course, this evening, keep in mind it is an interactive program, so please make sure and ask your questions. Those of you as well, as it relates to any question regarding health, wellness, the products and services of Batson and Associates, you can feel free to ask those questions as we move along. This evening, of course, we're going to talk on a number of issues. We're going to talk on bone health. So we're going to discuss arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis. We're going to discuss what do we do and offer at Batson Associates to deal with arthritis. Who are the individuals who actually get arthritis? You know, so what really causes you to get arthritis? Is it that your bones old? Is it a matter of age? Is it a matter of, some people believe that people who would have been in a lot of water, so like, for example, persons who would have forefathers who would have worked in cane fields, or persons who would have worked in kitchen, and they go and they wet themselves, so that hot and cold or consistently being in water for long could contribute or has contributed to their particular issue as it relates to arthritis. So that's what we're going to speak about. What really is arthritis? What are the different types of arthritis? What are the foods you should eat and shouldn't eat if you have arthritis? So those are some of the things we're going to touch on this evening. Keep in mind, as I said, it is an interactive program, so we will take any of your questions regarding what we're discussing here. Let me say a pleasant good evening to Miss Desiree Nicole Roberts. She says, good night, Mr. Batson. A pleasant good night to you. Good. So when we're speaking about arthritis, the organ system that we're dealing with, because you have 11 organ systems in the body, right? Now, the 11 organ systems, one of those systems are what is known as your musculoskeletal system. Let me say a good evening to Ms. Vidya Abdul. Keep in mind, we are live on our social media platforms. We are Batson Associates Limited on Facebook. On YouTube, we are Batson Associates Trinidad, so you can feel free to ask your questions there. Ms. Kamala Samaru, a pleasant good night to you as well. Good. So we're speaking about imbalances of the musculoskeletal system. So that means we're speaking about things like bursitis, we're speaking about arthritis, we're speaking about osteoporosis, osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, we're speaking about even what is known as psoriatic arthritis. I don't know if you ever heard about psoriasis, but there's also a form of arthritis known as psoriatic arthritis, which is arthritis caused by psoriasis, right? Which is an inflammatory skin condition, right? Mr. Sheldon, pleasant good evening to you, sir. Ms. Ruby Sami, good evening to you as well. Right. So when you're speaking about arthritis, it is, as I mentioned before, an imbalance of the musculoskeletal system. So your musculoskeletal system comprises what? Your bones, your tendons, your ligaments, your hair, your fingernails, those type of things. That is primarily what is known as your integumentary system. Good, as it relates to that's the integumentary system. The musculoskeletal system is tendons, joints, ligaments, muscles, bones, those type of things. Primarily bone health is what we're discussing. So when you're speaking about arthritis, what is arthritis? First of all, arthritis is an inflammatory disease. What does that mean? It means that anyone who has arthritis, actually, before they got the arthritis, their body became or was in a situation where the inflammatory response in the body is significantly higher than normal, right? There's a test known as a ESR, which stands for erythrocyte sedimentation ratio. Now, the thing is, the range of that is normally anywhere between 0 to 15, 0 to 20. We have treated persons who have come to us with that figure over 100. Now, keep in mind, if your ESR is over 100, it is a clear indicator that you are a perfect candidate for cancer. I'll say it again. So if your ESR, which stands for erythrocyte sedimentation ratio, is over 100 or close to 100, you are a perfect candidate for cancer. Not something somebody would like to hear, right? But it's a fact. Because that level of inflammatory response in the body. You all know what lupus is? Lupus patients, for example, suffer that because they have high levels of inflammation in the body. There's something known as connective tissue disorder. Again, high levels of inflammation in the body. There's also something known as, what do they call it? By fibromyalgia, which is actually a central nervous system problem, but it is also one where it takes into consideration, or it actually affects the nerves. So someone who has fibromyalgia going to have a lot of pain. So they will have all the symptomology associated with arthritis. So they're going to have the swelling, the stiffness in the joints, the pain, but they're also going to have a burning sensation, right? These are all inflammatory conditions. Now, we understand that inflammation, as I said before, is primarily the driver or the motivator of diseases in the body. Simple. Okay, let me just say some good afternoons. Anne Leger, pleasant good afternoon to you. Nita Cooper. Miss Rosemary Bishops, I believe this is a question. She says, good night, Dr. Batson. Glad to see you. Glad to see you. Could you talk about cholesterol, HDL, LDL, triglycerides, calculate the meaning and what is high, if not tonight, next session? Okay, Miss Bishop, I'll touch a bit on cholesterol in a little bit for you. No problem. Ms. Fraser, a good night to you. She says, what can be recommended for heel spurs? Heel spurs are a clear indication of excess acid in the body. So what happens is, in order to neutralize our acid, you need a base or alkaline, right? The most readily available alkaline or base is found where? In your bones, right? Your bones are comprised of magnesium and phosphorus in the form of, it's calcium, magnesium, and phosphorus in the form of magnesium phosphate. Yeah. So the thing is, it is calcium, magnesium, and phosphate, and it is actually stored in the form of calcium phosphate. So in a case like that, what you have is a situation where the body is now going to be pulling calcium consistently from the bones. Now, it means now that the heels, in this particular case, are the weaker parts, and as a result, it's going to pull calcium from the heels. So what you need to do to deal with that situation with heel spurs is that you need to start to alkaline the body. So what does that mean? Now, when people tell you to alkaline the body, you cannot alkaline your entire body because certain parts of the body need to be acidic. Example, your mouth, because saliva has to have a certain pH in order for saliva to be produced and to function the way that it should be. So your mouth is really supposed to be a bit acidic, which is about 6.4, sorry. The blood, of course, we know is slightly alkaline, which is 7.3. Deoxygenated blood and oxygenated blood would differ by about 0.5, somewhere around there. But still, it is a situation where you need to have a certain level of balance. So the thing is, with this particular heel spur situation, you're looking at hydration. Now, remember, you need to drink sufficient amounts of water. What is the rule for drinking water again? Half your body weight divided by divided by 2 in ounces. So if you weigh 130 pounds, half of 130 is 65. It means you're supposed to be drinking 65 ounces of water. That's what you're supposed to be drinking. So it's a matter of now understanding and being able to deal with the water. So that's the first thing for heel spurs. There's a product we carry called Inflammation Formula, which actually deals with inflammation. Very good product. That's one of the top products we carry here. And what it does, it helps with arthritic pain. So those of you who have things like pains, swelling in the knees, swelling in the joints. Anytime you're getting swelling in your joints, knees, shoulders, back, that's a key indicator of high level of inflammation, and the body is now trying to combat it. Okay, so that's something that you need to pay very close attention to. I would suggest also you can actually do foot baths. You could actually get the Epsom salt, and you take about 2 tablespoons of Epsom salt, you put it in a basin with some warm water, and you actually soak your feet in there for about 45 minutes to an hour. That will also help that heel spur situation as well. But check out the silver with mineral formula, the inflammation formula, the Alkaline Water, and you can also check out something known as anthocyanin complex, which is actually antioxidant, a high ORAC value antioxidant. Okay, a pleasant good evening to Miss Sharon Otley. Miss Rosemary Bishop says, and what product you all have to keep it under control? Okay, if you're having a problem with cholesterol consistently, now the cholesterol in the body is supposed to be, they tell you, supposed to be 200 and under. I could settle for 230 because a lot of persons have to understand that if your cholesterol goes too low, keep in mind that all cells in the body, every cell in the human body has cholesterol, especially the cells in your brain, especially the cells in terms of men, your private, right? Because cholesterol is necessary for the proper functioning of your cells. So you cannot have your cholesterol levels too low. Now, there's a lot of debate in the medical community as regards to how good your cholesterol is supposed to be. And doctors tell you your cholesterol, they want it to be 120. I personally find that's a little too low, especially if you're a man, because you need to have proper cholesterol in order to have and maintain proper erections, right? The quality of your skin, your hair, is dependent on healthy cholesterol, right? Cholesterol is important in every cellular aspect of the body. So it's vitally important to maintain healthy blood cholesterol levels. And that's what we can help you do at Batson Associates, because you also have to take a number of things into consideration, especially the liver. Remember, your liver is a major organ associated with cholesterol management. Your liver also plays a significant role in the production of coenzyme CoQ10. Your liver also plays a significant role in the production of glutathione, which is the master antioxidant. So it's vitally important to have a healthy liver. And that's why at Batson Associates, we advocate the use of the Santulan, which is a 7-channel detox that cleans and detoxifies kidney, colon, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin, and your lungs. So, but of course, we recommend that if you are dehydrated, you're supposed to drink your body weight divided by 2 in ounces for a period of time, let's say about 2 weeks, and then you could jump into the cleanse. Very, very important. Those of you who work in oil and gas, if you're working as an auto mechanic, if you're a jeweler, ladies, the lovely ladies who are the hairdressers, the nail techs, remember you're smelling those things. And what you're going to do, wait until you get cancer? People who work in those chemicals is always somewhere down the road, a cancer diagnosis. And the reason for that is that you didn't clean and detoxify the body as you should. Okay, Miss Joan Bridges, a pleasant good night to you. Miss Frederica Joseph, good night. Dr. Batson, greetings from New York. Thank you for all your wonderful health products. God's blessings. Hi to Miss Roma. I will do that for you, Miss Joseph. A pleasant good evening to you as well. Mr. Clifton Henry, good night, sir. No Name Noel says, hello, Dr. Batson. Good seeing you. Marva the Freighter, she says, good night, Dr. Batson. Blessings to you. Great lecture. Keep on teaching us. You're very welcome. Misty Cato says, can a patient come off warfarin successfully? Yes, they can. And I have done that with persons already. The problems most of the time, and I'm going to be very blunt here, is that most doctors don't like to take you off a warfarin. For what reason, I don't know. Because, I mean, we know all medication have side effects. Warfarin has one of the worst. The thing is, if you would have gotten clots, especially close to the lungs, they would have most likely given you warfarin. However, what they're supposed to do is retest whatever scan they need to do. So let's say you have a clot in your legs, they would have to redo a Doppler. If you have a clot in your lungs, they'll have to do a MRI or a CT or even ultrasound, depending on the situation, to determine the improvement or the lack thereof. You don't just go giving people warfarin just like that. And that is what these doctors do. They just give you warfarin and tell you have to take it for the rest of your life. And I know that the human body cannot tolerate that for that extended period of time. It is going to wreak havoc. Because remember, when you're using warfarin, you can't use anything green. Greens are the foundation of the body, or one of the major foundations of health and wellness in the physical body. So if you do not have proper nutrition and nutrients circulating in the body, you're going to be in problems. And that is what happens to persons in that warfarin situation. So we can't do that for you. You can always reach out to us, message us, come and have a consultation, because we can't have that conversation over the phone. Whatever results you have, your scans, if you did Doppler, if you did ultrasound, I don't know exactly where the clot is, then definitely that is something that you should do, and come and let us help you deal with that, because that is a serious thing. Okay, Ms. Sharon Hill said, blessed night, Dr. Batson and everyone. Rayanne Fraser says, thank you, you're very welcome. Rosemary Noel says, good night. Rosemary viewing from New Jersey. So we have New Jersey in the house. We have Miss Frederica Joseph there in New York. So guys, you can always tell us where you're listening to us from. It's very good to, see that we have clients in so many different places, and, being able to help so many different persons with so many different ailments and issues. You're listening to Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates, where we support your health naturally. So we're discussing joint health, bone health. So those of you who have back pain, I'll tell you a little bit about back pain just now. Ms. Sarah Hutchinson says, is there any food good for arthritis? Yeah, there are a lot of things good for arthritis. Sweet potato. You need to have a cleaner diet with arthritis. So you can't use too much of sugar. Coffee is definitely out. Coffee must be once a month. Those of you who drink 1 cup of coffee a day, and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, you're just killing yourself in a very quick way, because coffee, we know, as much as it has benefits, you need to be careful in terms of the frequency in which you use it. Because like everything that is good, you have to use some level of discretion, right? Turmeric, for example, is good, but would you drink turmeric every day in large amounts? Of course not. So you have to be able to use your upstairs in terms of dealing with those things. Okay, we have Miss Joan Bridget. She is from Connecticut. A pleasant good evening to you. Mr. Sheldon says, what causes a slight pain in your instep? Don't happen that often. What can be done to fix it? Okay, I'll come back to your question quick, Mr. Sheldon. Miss Sarah Hutchinson, is there any food good for arthritis? Right, so that's what I was touching on. So let me just finish Sarah Hutchinson. So remember, when you have a problem or issue with sickness or disease, you need to determine why you're sick in the first place. Good? And that is why I am such a great advocate of things like the live nutritional blood cell analysis, which is something we do at Batson and Associates consistently. We also do the magnetic resonance imaging scan as well. And that scan is primarily there to assist in looking at different organs and the sub-health conditions. The World Health Organization defines sub-health as the condition of the body between health and disease. So that is sub-health. So the thing is, that's before everything, because if you have any major disease, that major disease didn't come overnight. It was accumulation or a culmination of consistently doing the wrong thing, unknowns to you in some cases, but you're doing the wrong thing. So you can't do the wrong thing and expect to get a right response. That doesn't make any sense. Good. So it means we have to go back to brass tacks and now fix the problems, fix the situation. Good. So that is the situation there. You want the products that we offer for arthritis. We have inflammation formula. We have anthocyanin complex. We have magnesium 90, really good product. And of course, even the Alkaline Water. A lot of persons, just in using this water, they will have the ability to really have a better bowel movement. Because what the water does, the Alkaline Water has something known as ORP. What does ORP stand for? ORP stands for oxidative reduction potential. Good. So if we're looking at oxidative reduction potential, it means that the water is an antioxidant water. Batson, we didn't just feed to go and bottle water and give all it. There's a reason why the water is recommended. Because when you use alkaline water, and we could vouch for this brand, when you use Alkagen water, it is going to actually help to oxygenate your cells. If you take this water and leave it in the sun, in about a week time, the water is going to be full with algae on the inside of the bottle. The entire outside of this bottle is going to get green. You know why? The water is living water. Try and do that with anything else and see what you get. So it means the water has minerals in it, and because of that, it would not operate like regular water. You are going to get benefits. If you have problems with headaches, it's going to help with headaches. If you have problems with constipation, it's going to help with constipation. If you have problems with arthritis, it will help with the arthritis. So at least in the opening aspect of your protocol, use the Alkagen water. You are going to get the benefits that you're looking for. As relates to this thing, the inflammation formula, which I do not have one with me. That product is stored in the refrigerator. What that does is reduce inflammation in the body naturally. Remember, when you have high inflammatory response in the body, in the medical community, Western medical community, they're going to recommend steroids for you. The unfortunate thing is that you cannot use steroids for an extended period of time because of the side effects. Steroids actually cause, and this is prednisolone we're speaking about here, even if they give you methotrexate, which is a chemotherapy type drug, you have a number of things to deal with. You have to pay attention to your kidney, you have to pay attention to your liver, you have to pay attention to your intestines. Why do you think we have so many sick people just like that? No. So anyone with any sort of osteoarthritis, osteoporosis, we would usually have to do a bone density test. If you did that, bring the results first, do the blood, do the scan, and let us help you get better. You ain't fed up sick? Now, those telephone numbers are below there. You could, of course, take, let me just change something here. So let me give you the telephone numbers that you would usually call. Those telephone numbers, again, for head office is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. And that office, of course, is located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That's Money Talks building in Montrose, Chaguanas. And again, that telephone number is 222-8261, as well as 314-9975. Again, 314-9975. Check us out at our locations. We are located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That's Money Talks building in Montrose, Chaguanas. We are also located at the Red Edge Mall, which is on the Western Main Road in St. James. You can call any one of the numbers, the 222-8261 or the 314-9975 number, to get access and to get information, to come and have your blood analysis done, your magnetic resonance analysis done. And of course, I'm going to tell you a bit later on why that is so important to do. If we determine, we have the opening of our clinics coming soon, so we're going to have an integrative diabetic clinic, an integrative PMS clinic, so all you ladies who have problems with things like polycystic ovaries, fibroids, ovarian cysts, endometriosis, you would be able to get help there. So look out for that. Also, check out our Tobago office. Those of you in Tobago, that office is at the Triangle building in Scarborough, Tobago. Very soon, we have our representative here, one of the consultants, as well as myself over a period of time that are going to be in Tobago. So look out for those dates. You're listening to Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson Associates, where we support your health naturally. Let me say a pleasant good evening to, I see we have a lot of questions. I'm going to get and answer your questions, guys. Miss Jacqueline, pleasant good evening to you. Miss Pamela Phillip, a good evening to you. Joan Lalu, I see we having you regularly on our lives now. It's such a pleasure. Good night to you. She's Miss Esther Holder. She says, good evening to you, Dr. Batson. What supplements help with anxiety, depression, memory issues, and nervousness? It happens to me quite regularly. Miss Holder, you know, one of the things I believe you have some post-menopausal issues. Right? As regards to product that we could use, I would strongly recommend you do a consultation. There's actually a promotion that we're doing this month for women with this hormonal disruption situation, where you could actually take advantage of that and get those tests at a more reasonable price. You're going to get a discount, and we're still actually able to help you. The products that would help nerve restore is a big product. That's this one that we have here. This is actually a product that I did for myself based on the ingredient profile because of the amount of work that I have to do. So you need, when you work hard and then smart, or even if you're working smart, you utilize a lot of this. You utilize, and when you're using your brain a lot, it really tires you out. Remember, your brain is the only organ that uses glucose as energy. Your body could use any other, all them other cells in the body, or those other cells in the body could use fat. Your brain cannot use fat. Your brain has to use glucose, sugar. So the thing is, it means that if you do mental work, people who work in accounts, people who work actuarial science, people who do maths, you need to make sure and take care of this. So as I often tell persons, when was the last time you serviced your body? So if you're looking for a service, come to Batson Associates. Let us put you up on, well, figuratively, you know, put you on that ramp situation kind of thing, and let's do that blood analysis, do that magnetic resonance analysis. Look, if we have to send you for additional bloods, we will send you for the bloods. But I'm telling you, you will get results because you're coming to get results. You're not coming to play. Very, very important. So some dates to keep in mind. Keep in mind, one of the dates that you need to keep in mind is the 4th, Wednesday the 4th, and you also need to pay attention to Saturday the 7th, right? So those are 2 open clinic days that we're having in our offices. So pay attention to those open clinic days. Then, of course, we have that integrative cardiovascular center, and many other things will be added to that, which is at the Londonville location. So you'll be able to actually call and make your appointments. That office, of course, we're doing the live blood, dry blood, magnetic resonance analysis, your foot detox, and that also has a cardiovascular aspect because we're going to be doing like CT scans and deal with persons who have poor circulation, blocked arteries, those type of things, right? So keep in mind those days. This upcoming week here, we have some of our promotions. So those of you can actually call. Those of you who on the live who may be planning for the longest while to come to Batson Associates, but you're not getting the time, this is the ample opportunity to take advantage of that because we actually have some products on special. We have the Nerve Restore, which is on special. You have a discount on that product, and that product helps with anxiety, insomnia. Listen to me, any one of you outside there, I challenge you. If you cannot sleep, yes, you're getting problems to sleep. You can't sleep, you come to Batson Associates. But keep in mind, it is not overnight work. You know, some only want to come hurry. Now, there are people who get results like that, you know. But you have to understand everybody is different, and we don't know what monsters you're dealing with. Don't watch at your neighbor results. Your neighbor monsters is not your monsters. Some of you all have some long tapeworms so inside of you, you know. You don't know if your neighbor have that. So you need to ensure that we're dealing with you and we're actually able to assess and analyze you. So keep in mind those locations. Debe is the corner of Ramsden Wood Trace and the SS Erie Main Road in Debe. We also have Tobago, which is the Triangle Building, in Scarborough, Tobago. Okay, we also have Miss Sandra Pemberton. She says, good night, listening from St. Kitts. We have St. Kitts people in the place. A pleasant good evening to you. Miss Mandy says, hi, good night. Any recommendations for weight loss with hypothyroidism? Yeah, again. When you're dealing with let me tell you something about thyroids. Thyroid problems or endocrine problem is strongly linked to PMS, or PMS, I should say, is strongly linked to hormonal imbalance, and hormonal imbalance is linked to endocrine imbalance. Right? Simple. So remember, hormones are produced by what? Glands, right? Your gland system, or the systems, or the referral to the system is the endocrine system. So if you have an endocrine system problem, which means your endocrine system is not functioning properly, your organs are not producing and releasing hormones as it should, what's going to happen to you? You're going to end up in problems. So people who have hypothyroidism, which is low thyroid problems, it means you're going to have struggle to lose weight. You need to fix the endocrine system because your master gland is your pituitary gland. So there are glands that drive the other glands. So if the master gland is not healthy, you can't be healthy. So what I would recommend for you, Mandy, first of all, your water intake. I don't know when last you take a cleanse. You could check out our Santulan, which is a 7-channel detox that cleans and detoxifies kidney, colon, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin, and your lungs. And that santulan has a lot of benefits. You know, it's very good for your skin. Those of you who may have problems with a lot of headache, those of you who have problems with energy level, your children going back to school now, you know, school is very easy to get sick, especially with this dengue going around here. You don't know who can have it. Get yourself a silver with mineral formula and boost naturally your child's immune system. You are going to see some difference with that. We could also throw in our inflammation formula or anthocyanin complex for the child to, of course, improve brain function. These children, I'm looking at a book for one of those children the other day. And if you see, and this is primary school, I was like, but what is this? So these children, the work that they're up against, you need to feed their minds properly, feed their body properly, do your detox. There was a doctor at Harvard. I could always get the exact information, but I remember it in ballpark figure. He did a clinical study on gut health, and he did it with children who have attention deficit hyperintensity disorder. Do you know that when they made corrections to the gut health and some different aspects, those children showed significant improvement? Your gut is your second brain. Do not take it for granted. Give us a call. Check out that santulan. Santulan is a 7-channel detox. It cleans and detoxifies kidney, colon, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin, and your lungs. You can never go wrong there. And it's not expensive. We normally recommend when you're doing the santulan, you use your Alkaline Water to help the body to flush faster, because we don't want it to end up with something known as healing crisis. That's when toxins try to leave your body faster than you want it to leave. So what you're going to experience is things like headache. No, we don't want that. We don't want you to get headache and nausea. All right, so Mandy, I don't know if you have your tests and whatnot when last you did a thyroid function, your T3, your T4, your TSH. If you want help, we are definitely willing to help you. You could always set up a consultation and we could organize that for you this week, God's willing. A lot of people talking about plantafitis. Plantafitis is actually, now the thing is, there are people known as podiatrists. You know, a podiatrist is a foot doctor. So I know with those things, because yesterday I was talking about people who have this thing which they call fisheye. And they were saying that to deal with those things, you actually need to get somebody who knows what they're doing and then go in and actually clean it and go down inside, because it's actually like an inch deep, and actually clean it and take out the root, as it were, to solve that problem. Okay, and if you're having things like plantar fasciitis, you actually have a serious calcium deficiency problem as well. Right? I'm not saying you to go and drink milk, but there are various natural sources of calcium. Chia seeds, for example. Chia seeds is one of the highest sources of calcium. So start to get yourself some chia seeds and use that. Good. Miss Jacqueline, she says, good night, everyone. Miss Pamela Phillip, good night to you. Joan Lalu, a pleasant good night to you as well. Miss Esther Hola, she says, good evening to you, Dr. Batson. What supplements help with anxiety? Right. So I dealt with that. So I told you things like your Nerve Restore, Magnesium 90. If you have those problems really bad, I suggest you make the sacrifice and do the consultation. You all know my mantra. If you think health expensive, try sickness. You don't want to get sick. Now, in this wrong, people even want to take care of you. Who are you going to burden? Mind your business and get up and check yourself and sort out yourself. Okay, Miss Donna Howell says, good evening, listening from Victoria, British Canada. Okay, excellent. Miss Betty Phillip, a pleasant good evening to you. Rosemary Noel, can I get this water in the States? No, you cannot, but very soon we're coming up with our oxygen drop and you'll be able to get that in the US. Okay, guys, let me see. Mr. Dexter says, good night, doc. Osteoarthritis in the knees. We're dealing with that. But that is something, as I said, if you did ultrasounds, if you did x-ray, you need to bring it first and let us make a proper assessment for you. If need be, and we see, and it's now to you do, your blood analysis, your magnetic resonance analysis, then we'll do that. But if not, you need to come in and get your assessment done. You can do that this week, you can do that next week. You can do that at any of our locations. And what are those locations again? We are located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That's Money Talks building in Montrose, Chaguanas. And that telephone number again is 222-8261. That's 222-8261, as well as 314-9975. That is 314-9975. Good. Let me just check something here quickly. Nice. So we have Miss Kathleen Ishmael, always a beautiful person, as she says. We also have Miss Carol listening in from New York. We have Jazzy Janice Innes. A pleasant good evening to you. Miss Jennifer Valentine, my dear from Texas, a pleasant good evening to you. Lioness Kane Messi says, Dr. Batson, my son's whole body looks very dark. Is he in the sun? If people see the problem and their body, you see them looking very dark, especially in the face, you need to be very careful, because that could be an indication of poor circulation, early signs of stroke, ischemic problems in the body. Okay, Ms. Sharon Hill says we need you in the, Ms. Hill in the east. And let's just say, I say again and again, Nerve Restore is a boss. Yeah, real good product, yo. Real good product. It will be the best money you ever spend. And remember, your health is your wealth. Take advantage of that. If you think health expensive, try sickness. Okay, Miss Carol, we dealt with that. Jazzy Janice, we dealt with you. Kathleen Ishmael. But when I say dealt, I said a pleasant good evening, guys, right? I didn't mean it like that. Miss Regina Morris, she says, good night, Dr. Batson, all on the live. Grace Williams, she's listening from Florida. Miss Grace Williams says, Santulan is great. Miss Marva Hoggins says, is the Santulan pack contents the same in each tea bag? No, it's not. So you cannot separate the tea bag and do it separate. You have to do all 3 tea bags together. Okay, Miss Huggins. Miss Cathy says, good night, Dr. Batson. Can diverticulitis be reversed? Of course it can. Definitely. Diverticulitis, ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, irritable bowel syndrome. But you need to put in the work. So if you have maybe a CT scan that you would have done, or you did a colonoscopy, then feel free to bring it first. You have to do our live blood and our scan, must bound for us to determine things like your biological terrain. We get a better understanding and a more holistic view of the body and your issues, so that in correcting those issues, we bring about the change of good health. So definitely you can reverse diverticulitis. Miss Pamela Phillips says, Doc, my big toe is numb. That's not good. That's poor circulation. See if you can get yourself one of these, the circulation regeneration tea. This tea, especially for persons with hypertension, really good product. So you could check that out. You could also check out our Balanced Circulation, that very popular product. Balanced Circulation is a product that we actually use for persons who have really bad problems, things like varicose veins, spider veins. And we have seen a lot of results with that product. So that's something that you could look out with or look out for. Good. Let's see. You're very welcome. Miss Rosemary Noel says, thank you. You're welcome. Miss Brenda Newton says, good night, Doc. Yes, Nerve Restore is great. Thank you so very much for that. Miss Marva Huggins, she says, thank you. Lioness says, no, he's just a very dark face body. All his foot and that not his complexion. Yeah, well, he's very dark face. Yeah. So that's what I say. Does he suffer from hypertension? Lioness? Tell me if he suffers from hypertension. Mr. Sheldon says, what can be recommended for the slight pain in the instep of the feet? What I would suggest, you could try the inflammation formula. Apart from that, you can also do the foot baths. So you could actually take a tablespoon of Epsom salt, throw it in some very warm water, and soak your feet in that. That would help you, Mr. Sheldon. And then you could also check out Batson Associates, the Alkaline Water. A lot of times when you see you getting those things, you have acid. That's the body trying to store the acid, because your body cannot get rid of all that acid. So that's why the body actually stores it, and that could cause problems later on. People who end up with things like lactic acidosis, and then you have all this situation where you're not earning, but you're losing money. You need to ensure that you take care of yourself, Trinidad and Tobago. Pay attention to what it is you're doing as regards to your health, Because when you have health, and health is taken away from you, it's not a nice feeling. You can imagine you're born big. Let me say it in layman terms. You're born big, and you are in a situation now where you can't help yourself. No, no. All right, I thought so. No, he has no high blood pressure. Well, then he has poor circulation. Because if you're seeing your face and you're not in the sun and your face is significantly darker than the rest of your body, especially by the side of your temples here, your forehead, you are clear. There's a time bomb waiting to happen. There's a stroke right there waiting to happen. Right there to happen. So talk to him and see if he could go and check himself. You know, these young people, I don't know how old, you know, they just find it too big for people to talk to them. So that's something you have to pay close attention. You're very welcome, Mr. Sheldon. Good. Ms. Rosemary Noel, she says, can you supply these products online? Yes, we can provide the products online. That is one of the things that we closing in all the operations, and well, not operations, all the prep work and thing to get it going. So we'll have that launching very soon, within about the next week, 2 weeks, and you'll be able to get a lot of our products online, which is what we want, so that it's very easy to help you individuals. Miss Valentine, she says, WhatsApp, check it. I said, right. Okay, good. I will check it. And and the tea is working well, Miss Valentine. Which tea are you referring to? The circulation regeneration tea? I will check the WhatsApp for you. Rosemary Noel says great. Yeah. Okay. Miss Esther Hole, thanks, Dr. Batson, for your response. You're very welcome. Can I get an explanation of the different tests your institute provides and its purpose? Of course, definitely. We do something called live nutritional blood cell analysis. Now there are some people who tell you that in fact, let me explain something. This test was actually performed in hospitals years ago. They used to do it. Why they don't do it now is because they find it too time consuming, right? So in medicine, you have different blood tests, right? So that is blood tests from the qualitative analysis or the qualitative perspective. So you could do something, as I explained earlier, called an ESR, which stands for erythrocyte sedimentation ratio. Now, before, it have plenty of people who don't know anything about what I just explained to you. I must be one of the few doctors who does explain things to people like this. So if you do an ESR, you could also do something known as a C-reactive protein, which actually looks again at inflammation in the body. So there are different ways to look at inflammation in the body. But an ESR and a C-reactive protein is two of the most common ones they use. Now, the thing is, we do live nutritional blood cell analysis. So what we do, we take a drop of blood from your finger, capillary blood, we put it under a high-powered microscope, and it's magnified a few hundred, a few thousand times. Now, the trained blood microscopists, which we have at Batson Associates, we currently have 5. I am one. I do not, however, do blood analysis. Again, simply because it is time-consuming, and I've reached a stage as a senior consultant, and in order to because everybody wants to see Dr. Batson, everybody can't see me. That is impractical. It is not possible for that to happen. But we have systems in place, and one of these systems is these 4 very intelligent persons, 2 of them who have been working in excess of 10 years with me. I've been in practice 15 years now, so it's not to fly by night people who are working with us. So they understand what they're doing. Good. And what they will do is they will actually look at your blood under the microscope. They're going to show you it. And let me tell you something. You would be surprised how much explanation and understanding you will get when you do that. Okay? So that is one of the things that we are able to look at. We also do dry blood analysis. Let me tell you something. Your blood doesn't lie. You could come into our office and sit down on a chair and make up, lie on that form and put that is excess. You could put what you want there. That blood will sell you out. We will see if you have poor circulation. We will see if you have poor oxygenation. You all remember the other night when I was on the live, I was explaining something to you all about the blood cells. Simple explanation. But you would not believe when you do blood analysis on people and you see how that blood is stuck on top of each other. That is why people are sick. So you wonder why you have asthma and you can't breathe? That's your problem. Dirty blood. Because if blood is the river of life and your blood is dirty, it's too thick, and you must know what dirty blood look like because it shows, you're going to see it, then you could never be healthy. That's one of the tests we do. We also do something known as magnetic resonance analysis. There's something known as MRIs, which is magnetic resonance imaging. And watch me, if you do what we do with that is that we actually able to now determine certain aspects. We can also, so based on that experience, those are the tests that we do thus far. There are more coming, like we could do, I am trained in iridology, which is to actually read the iris of the eye. In my training, I trained for that. I also trained in something known as auricular therapy, which is the air, where you could actually provide manipulation and actually do different things. So there are a lot of different ways to assess things in the body, especially from a holistic perspective, right? So that was the question that I would have gotten. Right. Right. Yeah, let me see. I'm just going back for the. Yes, very good. Right. I'm going back there. Okay. Right. So that was the. Just now, guys, I'll go back. I'm just looking for the questions. I get a lot of questions and I'm not complaining. All right. Okay. Where is it? I'm trying to look for that question. No way. Right, good. So that's Mandy I was answering. Mandy, sorry about that. The amount of questions coming, yours just went up. So that's the purpose. That's the reason why we do it. Because I'll tell you something. I've had people who came to us with all kind of thing wrong with them. All kind of thing wrong with them. They did all kind of tests. And it's when we do that blood analysis, we found out that your blood is life. And blood always tells a story. Because blood passes where every cell in the body blood touches, every single cell, kidney cell, liver cell, pancreas cell. So blood, when it passes on its journey, it picks up information. Why do you think they do a test called a HbA1c? HbA1c was not the original test they used to do for blood sugar. Prior to that test, they used to do fasting blood sugar test. HbA1c came up again because of how they look at, when you have the red blood cells, how the glucose actually, it comes on the red blood cells. When they do a A1C, they're actually able to look at that, which is why they're able to give you a reading or average of your blood test or your blood sugar over 90 days because of that process. So blood is a very important thing, which is why it is the most tested serum in medicine. And the thing is, that is why we do that at blood analysis at Batson Associates. So a lot of persons, when they come to us, you know, they say they brought this test, they brought that test. If you went to other place and you did it, I quite frankly don't know what it is they do there. So we most likely might not accept that. I want us to do the test here. I mean, if you did it and it makes sense to us, you know, we could kind of handle it in that particular way. But the point is, we have to be able to evaluate you properly so that you could get the results that you need, most importantly. Okay, I hope I was able to answer a question for you. Right? Rosemary Noel says, great. Miss Jennifer Valentine says, yes, sir. Miss Pamela Phillip says, I am in New York. How can I get the product for the number? Okay, the number is, I'll put it here for you. You can actually give us a call on, of course, area code 868-314-9975. Good. Right. So let me see if I could get back to answering some of you guys' questions here. There are a lot that came up. So I put that there. All right. So I'm going up. Miss Pearl Passage, she says, hi, Dr. Batson. Good night, my dear. Watching your program right now. Nice to see you. Same to you, my dear. Thanks so very much. Miss Jennifer Valentine, she says, great information, Doc. It is so good to see what is happening in your body through the blood analysis. Yes. And this is a client who came from halfway across the world, and we did the blood analysis for them. Good. So there are a number of things that you need to pay attention to. Lioness says, my son went skin clinic. He did bloods and they never explained anything to him. Yeah. He says, I need to get him to come to do bloods. Yeah, need to let him come and do the blood analysis. Let him come and do the magnetic resonance analysis. In fact, there's an executive package that we have, which is a steal of a deal. That package, we had lowered the price and we never raised it. But of course, things change and eventually it is going to go back a bit more than it is. But for the price that it is right now, you all better take advantage of it because it gives you a thorough understanding of what is wrong with you. Because in that situation with your son, if his entire face is black, all of a sudden, that is not, something is wrong there. And most of the time, it is an indication of poor pulmonary circulation. I explained that on the program that I was doing on Synergy on Thursday. That program, I usually do a program on Synergy TV on a Thursday. That is a program with Harvey Boris. Pleasant good evening to you, sir. Respectable gentleman from where I sit. And, you know, we usually do that program to help a number of individuals, you know, understand health. We have a lot of sick persons in this country. We have a lot of sick persons in the world. But the thing is, the sickness that people have, it is too detrimental. We have persons, long time we used to get stroke, little stroke and get up, and the people getting stroke and just dying, you know. They're dying. So it goes to show how important it is to take care of yourself. So check out those products that we have at Batson Associates. Circulation Regeneration Tea. This was one of the latest products that was done, and I love this product. I use it. It's a very good product for somebody who has hypertension. It's a very good product for someone who has issues associated with poor circulation, especially poor pulmonary circulation. So that's something to pay very close attention to. Miss Mary Elizabeth says, good evening, all listeners. Dr. Batson Associates, as you explained to us good health, genetic loads the gun, but lifestyles pulls the trigger. Love that. Yeah, and I always tell persons that. You could be born in a family with all kinds of things. I don't care. Napoleon, if you look at history, look at Napoleon Bonaparte's family. That family was a cancer family. A lot of persons in his family had cancer. So you could have a genetic predisposition to a number of things. You could have a sickle cell trait. You could have a thalassemia situation. You could have come from a family where you have some situation associated with maybe dementia or even Alzheimer's. But what you have to understand that in what is known as nutrition, which is what we essentially helping persons to understand, nutrition can change genetics. I will say it again. And if you don't believe me, go and do the research. Nutrition could change genetics. So you could have a child born with a heart situation, and once you take care of that child and feed that child properly, the problem in this world is that we have access to too much of nonsense that they call food. It have plenty of things that people eating that they're not supposed to eat. You know? Sugar is one of the most dangerous things it have. But when you tell all they stop eating sweet, or they don't listen, or they say all it's sweet. So let's sweet, or they eating more sweet. Sugar is a dangerous thing. Or they don't know how dangerous sugar is. Why you think it has so much as sick people now? And the thing is, you're using sugar, but you don't drink water. How that making sense? You're a perfect candidate for diabetes. And as someone who specializes in diabetes and treating diabetics, I could tell you that the diabetes that people have, that they feel, everybody don't have the same kind of diabetes, you know. That's the next thing plenty people don't understand, you know. So when you go to the hospital and you go to your doctor and the doctor diagnoses you and tell you have diabetes, and he giving you what he giving everybody, he's not helping you. He's not helping you. Most people who are diagnosed as diabetic, actually, they're not diabetic, you know. You are pre-diabetic. There are different. When you reach the point of having diabetes to the point where it's detrimental, they're cutting off your foot, they're cutting off your toe, you're losing your eyes, you would have played the fool significantly. And you all know me. I's not one of them doctors is mince words and play games with people. I don't have time for that. Because when you come to us, we are responsible for you. So you're not going to stress us out. You have to, I can't be telling you, hey, drink 8 glasses of water, and then you're lying. You're drinking 8 glasses of soft drink and then come back a month to tell me you're drinking 8 glasses of water. We're not stupid. We know what you're doing. Especially if we do the retest and we look at your bloods. We're going to know. So we're not dealing with people like that. We're dealing with people who are serious and who want to get results. And you're serious, you want to get results. All the women out there, bring any one of these ladies and them who have this PMS thing and you're feeling like you're going mad, you can't sleep, you can't this, you can't that. I am telling you, we will fix you. In some cases, because those of you who take a lot of medication, so if you take plenty things like Revitril and Zoloft and all them fanciness, you have a little more work to do because then we got to clean out your system. Remember, if you are not sleeping and you have to use sleeping tablets or sleep medication, we're not talking about natural things that help to assist in sleep and help to balance the body and reduce your cortisol level. We're not talking about that. We're talking about sleeping tablets that is designed to, those are, I think, serotonin. Is that a serotonin? But it interferes with your brain chemistry. You're going to be in problems. So in fixing that situation with sleep, you need to deal with what? Any problem you have to fix in the human body, you must address it from where? If you're trying to kill a tree, where's the easiest way to kill a tree? Debark it. You could debark it, but that'll take long. If you take from the root, you must get to the root source of the problem, and that is where the blood analysis comes in. That's where the magnetic resonance analysis comes in. You have to deal with the root of the problem. So poor you have diabetes, poor you have hypertension, and I gave an explanation the other day where I talk about pulmonary hypertension, and you wouldn't believe how many people didn't know that it have a hypertension called pulmonary hypertension. Yeah. It have primary hypertension and secondary hypertension. So when you're getting treated for hypertension and they're treating everybody as one whole ball, it ain't really making sense. That is why we have to do the analysis to determine what is wrong with you. Miss Patricia Baumam, yes, we do have Santulan back in stock. Santulan is available at all of our locations. Miss Annabella Bay, how are you, my dear? I hope all is well with you. Good night to you, those of you in Tobago, and also Nikisha Kelshaw in Tobago. Pleasant good evening to you. Okay, Miss, let me go up. I think I have some questions. Yeah, Miss Susan Wells, she says, good night, doc. Can anything be done for cerebral palsy? All right, cerebral palsy, those type of issues, you can bring about improvement in people like that. The thing is, people who have muscular or imbalances of the central nervous system and the musculoskeletal system, which is what cerebral palsy will interfere with. You have to be in a situation where you are getting physiotherapy, which is physical manipulation, things like massages and those type of things, and the nutrition aspect of it. So I would say, yes, we can help somebody with cerebral palsy, but again, we need to get the information. We need to know a lot more detail about the case, but we have helped persons before. Okay. Vicky Latouche asked if we can help with sickle cell. Yes, we can. Lynn Lynch says, blessing Dr. Batson, what can you use for brain health to combat Alzheimer's and dementia? I love that question. And that is something, again, because Alzheimer's, you know, Alzheimer's is a family thing too. But I mean that you have some genetic predisposition. But as I always tell persons, again, as the listener so eloquently stated, genetic loads the gun, but lifestyle pull the trigger. If you want to prevent yourself from getting things like dementia, 1, water intake. The rule for drinking water is your body weight divided by 2 in ounces. So if you weigh 160 pounds, half of 160, you should be drinking 80 ounces of water. If you convert ounces to liters, I believe you'll get something like maybe close to about 2 liters or just over 2 liters of water. So majority of people out there are severely dehydrated. And you see this water here? I am telling you, this water is not here because we just feel to go and make water and sell all the water. No, I will never do something like that. It is here because it serves a purpose. It serves a purpose. If 70% of your body is water, and I discussed this, right? 70% is more than 2/3 because 2/3 is 33 and 2/3. No, 66 and 2/3. Right? So 70% of the human body is water. Your hair, this, have water in it. Your skin, your eyes. Waiting this make up your eyeball. Huh? What in your eyes? Liquid, vitreous humor. What in your brain? Your brain don't need water. Your brain need water. Your intestines. Are you aware that when you are dehydrated and your body starts to scavenge, to try to hold water and to scavenge for water, you know where your body is going to take water from? Your large and small intestines. That's how people just get constipated. So the water start to pull, or your body start to pull water from your intestines because you're not drinking sufficient water. So the stool, and then what happens? It pull water from the stool and all. So the stool gets dried out, and then you're constipated. You have to get edema. You have to get all kind of things. Why are you doing yourself that? Start drinking water. Unless you are a kidney renal patient who dialyze, my apologies, you need to drink sufficient amounts of water. Stop doing yourself that. You will end up with kidney problems and you will end up on dialysis, which is not a vacation. Okay, guys? So again, keep in mind those telephone numbers and locations. These upcoming weeks, we have a lot of clinics that we're doing. Keep in mind our open clinic day at our Shoguna's office. That is this week. Our open clinic days at our St. James office. So we essentially have open clinic days at all our offices. The only office that you have to pay attention to is Londonville as regards to that cardiovascular and that type of thing. And in Shoguna's, in terms of the days of consultation and the days of blood tests. Those telephone numbers are there for you. It is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. As well as 314-9975. A pleasant good evening to Kamina Love. Kamina Love said, I strongly recommend the Santulan. Great. You hear how much people talking about Santulan? Santulan is an A-class product. Kamina, my dear, you also need to call the office to organize for us to have that blood and scan and food detox done for you. So you'll just, don't depend on me because, I have a million things to do on my phone. I have like 99 million WhatsApp I just get. And that's the people that I used to work with before. So I haven't forgotten you, Kamina. Just reach out. I'll let the office know and I'll let them contact you and we will organize that for you. ESAT, pre-diabetic. What's the question? Could we deal with prediabetes? Recommendations. Prediabetes is one of the easiest things to deal with. First thing, water intake. Start consuming your body weight divided by 2 in ounces. So go on a scale, weigh yourself, and when you weigh yourself, whatever weight you get, you divide that by half and you start drinking that recommended amounts of water. If you drink soft drinks, stop it. If you drink juice, leave it out for a bit. You're welcome, Kamina. What I suggest you do to all these foods, simple carbohydrates. So the white potato, the rice, ease off of that. The flour, lessen that down. You're going to have to do some work on your intestines as well. My strong suggestion as regards to dealing with intestinal health, there's a product we carry at Batson Associates called Digestive Restore. Magnificent product. It aids and helps your body to actually break down the food properly. It also helps diabetics because if you're having any pre-diabetic situation, you already have a metabolic situation. You already have a digestive system. When we do live nutritional blood cell analysis and we do the we do the dry blood. So what we do, we actually get your blood, we put it, so that's what we call the smear test. And we take it and we put it under the microscope. One of the things that we see with people, the UTI infection, I'll touch on that. So what we do, we actually see like large bullet holes, and those bullet holes show serious inflammatory bowel conditions. So there are a lot of persons out there who have serious inflammatory bowel conditions. You all ever hear about something called leaky gut? how much water daily. What you're going to have to do, Suraj or Mr. Isat, is weigh yourself. Do you know how much you weigh, sir? Tell me how much you weigh, if you know. Okay? Ms. Susan Smith said, Dr. Batson, what about floaters? Can you assist? I hardly drinking enough water. Floaters, we have, you can deal with floaters. Floaters, let me tell you what floaters are quickly. The lens of the eye has a particular thickness. People with floaters, what happened? The lens in certain parts start to get very thin. So because of that, light is actually able to come through. There's a product we have called our eye drop, which is Eye Optics Formula. And that Eye Optics Formula is a great product for floaters. You can also check out the anthocyanin complex, which is actually a high-powered bilberry on steroids kind of product. That product is a boss product. I like to use it with the diabetics. And let me tell you something. Anytime you use a product with diabetics and you get real good results with bad diabetics, you know the product real good. Because diabetics have a lot of high inflammatory problems to deal with. Okay, Mr. Isat. So 218, half of 218 is 228, my apologies. So 228, that is what? 100 and we're looking at 12, 13, 14. That's 114. Look on the computer. You can check it on Google. Look at 114 ounces, how much that is in liters, Mr. Isat. And when you look there, that is the amount of water that you should be drinking. Keep in mind, sir, if you're not accustomed drinking that amount of water, what you should do is slightly or gradually get your water. So let's say for now, you do 2 glasses. I'm just saying, what you should do now, do like about 4 glasses. And you do 4 glasses for like about a week. And then from the next week now, you're up and you add 4 more glasses. So you're gradually introduced. Do not just gulp the water. Try and sip the water. That's going to help you there. Okay? As regards to, so that's for the floaters. Kidney stone recommendation, Santulan. Santulan is a 7-channel detox we carry at Batson Associates that cleans and detoxifies kidney, colon, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin, and your lungs. That works for gallstones, kidney stones. What you should do if the depending on the type of kidney stones you have, because you all know you have different type of kidney stones, right? So you actually have kidney stones, I believe 4 types. Off the top of my head, you have calcium, you have magnesium, you have uric acid, and you have combination stones. So depending on the type of kidney stones too, you could also determine the protocol that will be used to assist you. Okay. Darkness around the eyes. Well, if you're not sleeping properly, that could contribute. But usually people who have very darkness around the eyes and on the side of the temple, the forehead, that is usually a clear indication of poor pulmonary circulation, which is poor circulation above the heart, which means poor circulation in the brain. Good. So guys, very informative, right? You'll see I've given you all information. So check out that Nerve Restore product. Also check out you're very welcome, Ms. Charles. Check out the anthocyanin complex, because as I said, and I've treated a lot of persons with floaters successfully. That is the tinning. So you have like, this is the lens here, and what happened, the lens have like this, so it actually starts to get openings, or the area of the lens becomes very thin. So as a result of that light, you notice people who have floaters, you're very sensitive to light. It is because now the light is penetrating the lens too much, because the thickness of the lens and the coating of the lens is beginning to thin in certain areas. That's a serious thing too. Don't play with that. So check out the Eye Optics Formula. I do have an example of the eye drop that we have here. I just have the Nerve Restore, the women's formula. We also have a blood sugar complex. Very good product for persons who have issues associated with pre-diabetes and that type of thing. But keep in mind those telephone numbers and locations. So what you could do is actually come and have a consultation. And the reason for having the consultation is this. You have to understand that the better assessment we make of you, it is the better we're able to help you to give you the results that you're looking for in a faster and a shorter space of time. Remember, you want efficiency and effectiveness. Not so? You want your problem solved. But you have to understand too as well that you didn't get these things overnight, because some of y'all sick since the founding of the world, Since God said, let there be light, and then you come and expect us to fix it in a week. No. We don't deal up with magic and fairy dust and pixie dust of business and thing, right? You have to be practical in what you're doing. The thing is, with the eye optics formula, in all honesty, I'll be honest with you guys, which I usually have eye optics formula because of the naturalness of that eye drop would not spoil. But what happened because of the ingredient profile of the eye drop, it is an Ayurvedic preparation. It is also based on Chinese medicine. They do not use iota chemicals in the eye drop. So the eye drop just give you a smell. And I'm telling you quite frankly, the smell in some cases is not really a good smell. But what happens, because it is not that it is spoiled, it wouldn't do anything to your eye, it wouldn't damage your eye. But it is just because they do not put steroids and certain preservatives in the eye drop will give you that smell. But it is not spoiled. Nothing is wrong with the product. Okay, guys? But so in a case like that, that is one of the reasons I recommended. I told people, put the eye drops in the refrigerator. Listen to me. We have been using that eye drop. A lot of the products that we carry at Batson Associates didn't just come here. This is products we're using for years. We got testimony from here to the next part of the world. And the eye drop is one of those. So it's a matter of helping that situation. Ms. Susan Smith asked, does water help your eyes? Of course it does. Miss Sandra Charles, the consultation, you could always call the office and find out. And that number is there. It is 222-8261. Let me put back that number there for you guys. I didn't realize I moved it. Right. So that number there, 222-8261, as well as 314-9975. So the number is passing below the live there. You're going to see it. You could get that information and come and give us a visit. Okay, Ms. Susan Smith. Okay, thanks, because my own was smelling a bit and I was scared. Thanks. No, nothing is wrong with it. If I deal with the organization that I deal with, who does that eye drop, one of the things that they have, when you look, that's all you will see there, but the testimonies are amazing as regards to what it does. It is an all-natural eye drop, and as a result of that, it helps with things like cataract, detached retina, retinotis pigmentosa, which is such a horrible situation. That's a chronic eye problem that I have seen people who have dealt with it successfully, but it is always easier to deal with. No. It's always easier to deal with that type of situation. This is Mr. Isat, 114 pounds. Right, so 114 pounds. If I look at my phone, is almost 52 liters. Nah, you didn't do that correct, man. Just now, boss. Guys, give me a minute. Let me just check something here. I had calculated for myself, but I can't remember the scale of liters, pounds to, right. Right. Good. All right, let me enlighten you, sir. So let me check it. Okay, so you told me you weigh 228 pounds. So the rule for drinking water is this. The 128 pounds divided by 2 is 114. So what you're doing, the 114 is basically considered, we're changing that to ounces. So it's basically 114 ounces of water you're supposed to drink, right? So 114, maybe the way I say it, I confused you. My apologies. Right? So 114 ounces, 2 liters. All right. You know, our internet, well, the internet on. Right. Okay, so good. You do it. Yeah, because my internet taking long. Right. Yeah. So that's 3.37 liters. Good. Yes, so that is what you're supposed to be drinking, sir. So that's why I was telling you, if you're not, so how much water you feel you're accustomed drinking, Mr. Isat? Because you're supposed to be drinking almost 4 liters of water, which is, I normally drink like about 5 liters of water for the day. So this bottle is 5 liters. So if it's saying to you that you're supposed to be drinking 3 point, right, that amount of water, it means this half of this bottle is 2.5 liters. For the day, usually before the day is out, especially if I go to the gym, I would have drank this water, this bottle of water filled. But remember, drinking this volume of water, remember, if you're exercising and doing certain things. So in a case like that, Mr. Isat, what you need to do, as I said, if you're accustomed drinking 1 liter, up it to like about 2 liters or a liter, 1.5. And you do that for like maybe about 4 days, 5 days, and then you go up 0.5 liters again. And you keep going up until you reach close to your required amount. You all follow me? And that is where you're going to help. Because remember, as I said, you remember 70% of the human body is water. So most people don't drink enough water. And that is where a lot of the times you have problems with diabetes. Okay? Ms. Susan Smith said, what helps dry eyes, doc? Dry eyes, usually people who have dry eyes, I'll tell you something. A lot of people drink water. That's the next thing. But your body don't utilize the water that you're drinking. So what happens? Sometimes water goes in the body and it's like when water goes on a duck back. It just run off. You don't want that. So that is why the type of water you drink is also very important. That's why I tell persons, not all water is created the same way. People don't like to hear that because they figure, oh God, I'll go and buy water. I mean, even if you're not buying water, or you're not buying even the Alkagen water, I've been drinking alkaline water in excess of 15 years now. In excess of 15 years. Everything that I'm telling you all about, with the exception of what is specific to women and what is maybe specific to sick persons, because I don't have any hypertension, diabetes, and all those things after God. Thank God, I use Nerve Restore. I use this tea here. I just use this tea. I don't have any hypertension. You're very welcome, Mr. Isat, sir. All right? So it's a matter of now understand. And the same thing is a lot of people didn't understand that too. Because remember, a lot of the times we hear you're supposed to drink 8 glasses of water. And that's what you're accustomed to. Drink 8 glasses of water. Drink 8 glasses of water. Drink 8 glasses of water. But that don't make any sense. Because if you have a child, you'll give a child 8 glasses of water to drink. So if you have somebody, for example, who's my weight. So right now I weigh in about 195 pounds. So my water requirement is going to be less, right? My water requirement when I calculated would have been, so half of my, let's say 100. So it means I'm supposed to be about 3 point something liters of water. But I essentially drink sometimes 4, sometimes even 5 liters of water, as I mentioned. But that's because I would have gone to the gym, I exercise, whatever the case may be. So you have to consider too, we live in a tropical climate. So let's say you are a mason or you are a laborer. It means you're supposed to drink even more water because you have what? You're perspiring. So you're sweating out all the water. You understand? What Mr. Isat said, I want to reach your weight, doc. Don't worry, we have things for that too, man. We have things for that. We're doing a serious weight loss campaign coming up. Santulan is a good product for weight loss and is a very good product to start. Because what Santulan does, it sort of kind of bring back your body to a certain level of balance. Because remember, Santulan is a 7-channel detox. So it cleans and detoxifies kidney, colon, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin, and your lungs. So remember, your liver is one of the major organs of weight loss. A lot of people don't know that. Remember, your liver is a metabolic organ. Your liver have over 500 different functions. Your liver converts protein to amino acid to protein. You cannot build and maintain healthy muscle if your liver is not functioning properly. So you see? Yeah, no problem, Mr. Isat. As soon as you're ready, you let me know and come and let's sort you out. I used to work with a Isat in Wassa some years ago, That was 100 years ago. So I'm looking forward to that, sir. When you're ready, you organize and come. So keep in mind, sorry, again, those locations. Ms. Stacey Spit, how do you spell anthocyanin? It's spelled ANTHOCYANIN. A-N-T-H-O, antho, C-Y-A-N-I-N, anthocyanin, right? And anthocyanins are what you find in certain types of food. Anthocyanins are actually, they're not necessarily free radical scavengers, but they play a significant role in free radical damage. All right? Oh, my brother and sis-in-laws. Okay, great. Good, good, good. Ria Isat is her name. Yeah, really, really nice people. Okay, Miss Trisha Pascal says, how do you sip that amount of water, doc? No, when I say sip the water, you're doing a relatively, you understand, quick but not too fast. Don't just, and no, don't do that. Don't do that. And ideally, one of the things that you should actually do is sit and drink water. A lot of people do not. You can research it. There's actually, okay, your sister-in-law is Ria Isat. Okay, nice. All right, sir. You're glad you see how the world is a small place? Because when I saw the surname, I was like, okay, I know the surname, man. And I know it's not a common surname. Okay? So pleased to meet you, sir. And looking forward to meeting you and helping you. Okay? Miss Melissa Brown, she says, where can I find Santulan? Melissa, where you are? You're in Trinidad or you're out of Trinidad? Very soon we'll have that on our international sites. So you'll just be able to order it online and it will ship directly to you. Okay, guys? Nice. So let me see if I can answer some questions here quickly before we finish up. Raquel Bottis says, good night, Dr. Batson and fellow viewers. What can you recommend for a full-blown 44-year-old sickler that is having issues with unusually high blood pressure and was recently diagnosed with hypothyroidism? All right, Raquel. Okay, that is you're going to have to look at bloods. You're going to have to look at certain things. I'll tell you something about sickle cell persons and what I've recognized in my years of practice and dealing with sickle cell and people with sickle cell traits and thalassemia and certain types of blood disease. What it is a situation where you have to look at the greens in the body. They have a lot of problems with green deficiency, right? So, and then you also have to pay attention to sometimes the type of medication that they're using in terms of balance. Are they drinking sufficient amount of water together with the medication that you're using? That's the next thing, you know. Remember, a lot of persons, you go to the doctor, you're prescribed medication. You might have a lot of problems. So you might be using a number of medication. You might be using blood pressure medication. So you might be using glucophage, one in the morning, one in the evening. You might have high blood pressure. You might be using a nifedipine. So using glucophage, nifedipine. You might be using some sort of calcium channel, some sort of diuretic. So you might be using Bendro, or you might be using Lasix, or you might be using some sort of digestive something, or they usually give you things like Nexium, Pantecta, whatever the case may be. The thing is, a lot of people using medication, you're not taking care of yourself, you're not eating properly, you're not exercising, and you're not drinking water. What's going to happen to you? You're going to end up in a lot of problems. So in that particular case, with the person who is a sickler, those are some of the factors that you might have to take into consideration. Because if you're a sickler and you have hypertension and you now get hypothyroidism, you need to look at the basis of the body. What is going on? That person's intestines is in a state of affairs. If and when we do that blood analysis on that individual, when we put that blood under that high-powered microscope, that person will run out of the room. That blood is going to be do you know we see parasites in your blood? We see pathogens. We see something known as protoplasts. And if I was to give a visual example of what protoplast is, protoplast, imagine, you all know the difference in the size of Tobago and Jamaica? So Tobago could be about how much times the size of Trinidad? About how much Tobagos could fit in Trinidad? About 5? I'm talking off the top of my head here. I can't remember. Even though I do geography, that was years ago. Right? So imagine you're fitting Tobago in Jamaica. Based on the square kilometers of Jamaica, I think you would be able to fit maybe about anywhere between 10 or 15 Tobagos in Jamaica. Right? Follow the analogy. The point I'm making is that we see protoplasts that the size of the blood cell is the size of Tobago, and the protoplast is the size of Jamaica. So in other words, we see blood cells looking like this, the size of your blood cells, and we see big, big things inside of here floating around with your blood. And remember, that is blood we take from a drop. That is one drop of blood from your finger, which is giving us a view into the entire system. Because remember, if that is constantly circulating throughout the entire body, do you all ever heard about something called auto-intoxication? The word auto, or the prefix auto, means what? Self. Intoxication means what? Poison. Self-poisoning. Auto-intoxication. You know what that means? When your gut is so unhealthy. So those of you who carrying around them little big belly and thing, that's why I tell people you need to work on the size of that belly. Because what you're doing is that your body is not digesting healthy food, you know. You have auto-intoxication that's consistently coming like this. And almost being recycled and circulated throughout the body. So when you have all those toxins, when you're not evacuating waste properly, when you have problems with constipation, ladies, you're trying to lose weight, you're running around the savannah, you're running treadmill, you're doing all kind of things, and you're not losing weight. You know why? You have PMS, postmenopausal syndrome. And ladies, let me tell you something. That is nothing to be ashamed about, you know. But you have to correct yourself, because once you're alive, your hormones need to be functioning properly. If they're not functioning properly, you're going to be in issues. So again, you have been listening to Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates, where we support your health naturally. Melissa Brown, she says, I'm traveling from Togo from the US soon. Where in Tobago? Is that you put in there, my dear? Where are you located, please? Tobago, we are in the Triangle Building. That's the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. And we have the telephone numbers below there. That's head office. So that telephone number is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. And you could also WhatsApp us on 314. That's 314-9975. Good. Lee Joseph says, good night, Dr. Batson. I've been trying to find an office that has an enzyme formula. Shagona sell out it's too quickly, and I've been trying to call St. James. All right, Lee, what I will tell you, I will let Miss Eleanor, or in fact, I will let the front desk staff know, or my front desk colleagues rather know what it is you have to get. And as soon as we get, because we're getting enzyme formula shortly, I'm going to let you know, because that's a product that sells out really, really quickly. Okay, nice. Okay, she said she's in the US. Miss Susan said, Doc, I was told alkaline water not good. Who tell you that, darling? Don't let nobody fool you with that. People talk about things, and a lot of people speak about things that they don't know. There is nobody in the world could argue alkaline water with me. I don't bring them. The ORP, just something known as oxidative reduction potential. Oh, okay. Whoa. All right, Mr. Isat, I'm now seeing the thing. I'm so sorry to hear that, though. Yeah, and that is something that I always try to save people from, that dialysis situation. Okay. Ms. Ruth Moran says, I would like to get an eye drop, but is it in New York? I could organize that for you. As I said, we just now almost finalized that, where you'd actually be able to get your products anywhere from anywhere in the world. Miss Arlene Good says, good night, Dr. Batson. What's the best way to worm out, please? It depends. It depends on what you're dealing with. That is why we talk about Santulan so much. Santulan is a 7-channel detox. It cleans and detoxifies kidney, colon, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin, and your lungs. So it is definitely something that is going to help in that whole gastrointestinal system. Okay? So keep in mind those telephone numbers and locations. We are located on the first floor of Money Talks Building. That's Money Talks Building in Montrose, Chaguanas. We also located on the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. We have our consultants there. Let me say a pleasant good evening to Ms. Karishma Ramdan, Mr. Paul Green, very well qualified and well experienced. I mean, talking about people with over 10 and 15 years experience here. Good. So you can take advantage of that. We also located in Debe, which is the corner of Ramsonwood Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in Debe. The walking days that Dr. Batson has, my walking days, apart from the other consultants days that we're going to have. Because keep in mind, if you do the live blood, if you do that entire live blood, dry blood, and get everything done, it is easier when you do that because your wait is going to be a shorter wait. And then if you have to see me for me to do a review, your review is not going to be a long review, and that could be done on the other days. Because the days when I am in clinic, obviously the office is going to be packed to capacity, right? I'm not saying that when the consultant's working, it's not packing, but you know, we try to run an effective and efficient ship to ensure that you get the service that you deserve. Okay, guys? So keep in mind those, or in Tobago, what part of Tobago is the building? The building is at the Triangle Building. It is opposite WASA in Scarborough. So where the WASA office is in Scarborough, directly opposite that office, you'll see a white building. The building is like about 3-4 stories high. We are inside of that building. Batson Associates. Once you go to the, you go in the car park there, you will see the building. We're right there. Everybody know where Batson Associates is there. So it's very easy to find. Okay. The telephone number for the Tobago office, you could take it. That telephone number for Tobago, let me just pull it up here for you. Right. So I just put it there on the screen. The telephone number for Tobago is 226-4553. That's 226-4553 or 312-4248. Okay. Right. So that's 226. Let me get it back for you. Sorry, my apology. Yeah. So it's coming up there. 226-4553 or 312-4248. Good. And the one for Trinidad is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. And you can also WhatsApp us on 314. That's 314-9975. Okay, guys. I know we had a lot of questions tonight. I'm very glad that you guys came on the live and, you know, got some information. I know I think there were 1 or 2 questions. I'm trying to go through here quickly to see. Okay, with the hypothyroidism, that's definitely an appointment. Keep in mind, if you have serious challenges like diverticulitis, inflammatory bowel disease, if your problem is you're diabetic and they're telling you you're bleeding in the back of your eyes and you feel your eyesight going, we could deal with those things for you. We could deal with those things. I had a client who came to me recently. Let me give you this testimony before I leave. And the thing is, if you look on our lives, and when I call certain products, you realize how people comment on the products. I didn't pay them to do that. It's because the products work. When you talk about iOptics formula, Boss product, women's formula. So iOptics formula is an eye drop that helps with cataract, glaucoma, detached retina, bleeding behind the eyes, blurred vision, people who sit in front of computers. I use it because I do a lot of work with microscopes. So I always looking down inside at those bright lights. So I make sure and take care of my eyes, right? Those of you who you might read a lot, if you're in the field, if you might be an attorney. And you know, it's so sad to see intelligent people who work so hard and then their health just go down the drain. It's a sad thing. It's really, really a sad thing. And you know, as a practitioner for 15 years, you can imagine how much sick people I would have dealt with it in my 15 years. And God's willing, I'm going to deal with even more people in the additional years to come, God's willing. But what I always try to help people to understand, and that's why I always tell people, if you think health expensive, try sickness. Don't minge on your health. Don't do it. Because when you have to take out insurance and critical illness insurance, I know people who had critical illness insurance, all kind of million insurance, and they just blow through that, you know, because of health. When you get sick and you get really sick, like end up on dialysis, they're lucky the government, they subsidize dialysis. If you have to pay for dialysis private, a dialysis session is $1,000 in Trinidad or $1,200. With all the competition it have now, it might come down a little bit to $800. But if you have to dialyze 3 times for the week at $1,000, that's $3,000. That's $12,000 for the month. You could imagine you spending $12,000 on a dialysis situation. If you get a stroke, do you know how much money you have to pay a physiotherapist to do physiotherapy on you? Because you ain't going in the hospital to deal with the physiotherapist in the hospital because they don't have as much time to deal with you. You have to pay a physiotherapist about $400 to $500 a session. And depending on the severity of your stroke, you are going to have to spend $500 for maybe every day for the week for the first time or 3 days, that's $1,500. So when health is taken away from you, then you have to check money. So don't do yourself that. Don't do yourself that. You service your car. We service air conditions. All of you, if you have air conditioning in your house, I'm just saying, how often do you service the AC? You have to call the AC people. If you know how to do it for yourself, you can do it to save a little dollar. Okay, good, nobody. And say no. But then you service your car. You service your air condition. You maintain your premises, your little property. You have to paint. When you build a house and you paint it, you just paint the house and 40 years the same paint to stay on the house. No. You have to power wash it, you have to clean it, you have to sand it down, and you put a new coat of paint. So when last you put a new coat of paint on your body? When last you do something to take care of your eyes, to take care of your kidneys? Ladies, this premenopause thing killing all you with this insomnia, this anxiety, and all these type of problems. So I'm saying all of that to say, give us a call, check out the excellent products that we have at Batson Associates, and don't let nobody fool you and tie up your head and tell you nonsense about alkaline water ain't good. The person who's saying alkaline water ain't good, you let it talk to me. I will break down that to a scientific term to them. Do you know that alkaline water is used by the Japanese in their health therapy? Alkaline water in Japan is actually a medical device. I tell persons, look at the countries where people have certain things going on. Look at them. Look at Germany. Look at Scandinavia. Well, look at the Chinese. I always tell them that Asia, they know health, they know medicine when coming to certain things. But you have to strike a balance. Good. So again, those telephone numbers and location, keep in mind those open clinic days. Keep in mind our symposiums that we're having, our upcoming symposiums. Keep in mind those specials that we're having. We had to make some change to the symposium times because of our workload, but we're going to adjust that. Those of you who have groups, church groups, the ladies group, because I know we actually have some things that we would have done for the community and that type of thing. That is something that we always do, because our objective, is to bring health from a natural and integrative perspective. It's not a matter of treating the symptomology. Diabetes is a symptomology. Hypertension is a symptomology. Diverticulitis is a symptomology. Crohn's disease is a symptomology. Asthma is a symptomology of a greater problem. What is the root cause of your problem? That's what you have to find out. And that is what we do at Batson Associates. So as we always say at Batson Associates, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. Check out those products again, the Alkaline Water. Check out Santulan, very, very good cleanse. But keep in mind, before you use that cleanse, you must hydrate. What do I mean? You must be drinking your body weight divided by 2 in ounces for at least 2 weeks. And then you do the cleanse. Once you do that, man, you're smiling all the way to the bank. Improved energy. If you have a problem with headaches, significantly reduced. And what makes it even better, once you can do it, come and have that executive consultation done. You're getting, there's a steal of a deal. You get your live blood, your dry blood, your magnetic resonance analysis scan that looks at all the organs in the body. You also see you get a complimentary food detox, and you have your executive consultation where you do diets and whatever the case may be. Steal of a deal. Can't go wrong with that. Okay, guys? So check that out. Check out our Nerve Restore if you're having problems with sleep, anxiety, depression, or you're just somebody who just work hard. You know, you work hard. You might be a manager. You might own your own business, whatever the case may be. You have to take care of yourself. Good, guys? So, as I said, those telephone numbers and locations, we are located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That's Money Talks building in Montrose, Chaguanas. Those telephone numbers again are 222-8261. That's 222-8261, as well as 314-9975. Raquel says, with your answer to my question, I'm scared to have my blood examined, but I'm even more scared of living an unhealthy life. I truly believe that with your help and products, I stand a better chance at actually living for a change. I'm so glad to hear that. And I tell persons that because, I mean, you know, when I speak to clients and I get people who are sick, like I remember I had a lady who came to me. She was literally on death's door. She came to us only about 2 months ago. And she was a horrible diabetic. They wanted to do surgery on her eyes. And if you see in 2 months what this lady looked like, she looked completely different. Her complexion changed and all. She said, Dr. Batson, I am very glad that I came to visit you guys. So take care of yourself. I'm now seeing Susan Wells' question here on seizures. Your seizures, people with seizures. Seizures could be helped. I have actually helped a lot of people with seizures, but seizures have a lot to do with brain chemical imbalance, and it has a lot to do with the central nervous system, parasympathetic, what we call the autonomic nervous system. Okay, guys? So again, check those telephone numbers, 222-8261. That's 222-8261, as well as 314-9975. Again, that's 314-9975. You're very welcome. All the thank yous and all the questions, I say, Miss Sandra Charles, you want the Tobago number again? Let me get it for you here quickly, guys. Let me just give you this before I leave. I like to make sure I give all a good service. Okay, so Miss Sandra, the telephone number for Tobago again is 226-4553. That's 226-4553 or 312-4248. Okay, I'll call it again for you. And those of you as well listening, that telephone number again for the Tobago office is 226-4553 or 312-4248. For the general office, you can call 222-8261. That's 222-8261, as well as 314-9975. Those of you international in the Caribbean and interested in having your online consultation, we will do that for you. And of course, as I said, we're organizing to have those products where you would have access to get your products anywhere in the world. Don't worry, we're sorting that out. Okay, guys? So again, as we always say at Batson Associates, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. Ms. Raquel Batiste, Ms. Sandra Charles, Susan Wells, Susan Smith, Ingrid Ross, Ms. Raquel Parsons, Matthews, Erla Williams, Geigs Bev, Melissa Brown. Blessings to you guys. Take care of yourself, right? Remember that deep breathing we talk about. So when you get up in the morning, you sit down. I don't know if you're skilled enough to go down on the ground in yoga pose and thing, you know, bounce all that fanciness. But sit down and start to do your deep breathing. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. If you do that for 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes in the night, you wouldn't believe what you could do to your health and to improve your health. And of course, remember, guys, your water. Stop saying you don't like water. Stop saying you don't like water. It's saying you don't like rain and you want rain to stop fall. If rain stop fall, you know what will happen to us? So stop saying you don't like water. There are things we could do. Give us a visit and we will find a solution for you guys. So take care, guys. God bless. Do enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Tomorrow, I believe school is opening. So be safe. Driving, you know, we have more traffic. You guys, take care. God bless.